All right. This is Jesse Da Costa. He is the head coach for Jamestown Community College. He recently got the position after being the assistant coach. Tell me about the process of getting to be a head coach.
Yeah, so I always wanted to coach. I coached kids back in Australia when I was growing up. But my last semester in college, I messaged Pat asking him to use him as a reference on some application, and he said, "Are you coming back to Jamestown when you're done?" And I was like, "Yeah, I am." And he said, "Do you want to coach with me?" I'm like, "Oh, that actually sounds like pretty good fun. A step in the door for coaching, maybe that'll help." And then about 3 months in, he looked at me and he goes, "I'm retiring, and we're giving everything to you." And that was scary at the time. He told me right then, he's like, grab a notepad and a pen, start taking notes because it's going to be a lot. So the last year and a half, I've really just been filling in notebooks. I've probably gone through 3 by now. So, but yeah, that's kind of how I got to my point. Kind of fortunate, really, but
Yeah.
happy to have it.
So, what was the process for you to get to this point? Because you are from Australia, obviously.
So I grew up playing in Australia my whole life, playing soccer, and then my dad told me about 9th grade. My dad told me, "Do you want to go play in America?" I was like, 9th grade. I wasn't even thinking about life at that point. I was like, sure, whatever that means. And then 3.5 years later, it came out to be an actual thing, and I came over here and I played at JCC for 2 years. And then I transferred to a small Division 1 school in the middle of absolutely nowhere in Illinois, which was horrible. But Eastern Illinois I went to, and I was there for 2 years, and then back here now.
And what did you learn there?
A whole bunch. No, you learn a lot about, I think at that level it's a lot about discipline. And you see, I think the coach never liked me, but I was fortunate because he was really good at setting up specific parts of the team, like training sessions and things like that, and organization. So I was good to see that part. And then I think the bit with Pat was the man management aspect and like the business side of all of it. You kind of learn those components to it. I feel like even though the Illinois coach wasn't like the nicest guy, but there were still parts of him where I could look at, and I look at it now and I'm kind of going, okay, can I do this? Can I do this? How did he do that? And then I'm looking at Pat and doing the same thing.
So what about your education? Did that lead you to be a coach, or did it just happen you become a coach?
I think it helped.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have a bachelor's degree in exercise science, and I think that helps. I mean, you've been a part of my sessions with the team upstairs in the gym. I do think that it helps in that component of the coaching. I did do a lot of coaching growing up, and I think that even in high school, it was like a part of the school's curriculum that we did coaching. And I think that plays a big role, figuring out quickly how to interact with every player individually and how to encourage them and how to deal with them is a big part.
Now I have some questions to try to understand what I'd be getting into if I were to become a coach.
Mm-hmm.
What is the hardest part about being a coach?
I'll tell you what, I actually don't think any of it's hard. I enjoy all of it. I do think that, I wouldn't say it's hard, it's a challenge, is some people's attitudes. And I think that I think you're always going to deal with it, but I think I'm going to deal with it less now that I'm the one recruiting these players. So they're players that I think would fit me and what I like and what I think a player should be like. But in the past, I mean, you saw guys on your previous team at JCC where attitude is a problem. I think that's the biggest challenge, is thinking about you're just a constant problem solver. That's really what it is, and trying to figure out how to solve those problems and move on with those people with the problems.
Now, what's your favorite part about being a coach?
Winning. I think winning. No, all of it. I can't pinpoint a single thing. Whether it's the soccer aspect or it's the helping young men grow into men.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a big part. And it's really enjoyable to see. I always see the stuff that I coach you guys in training sessions, and then when it's in games and it happens, you guys on the bench will be like, "Oh, we did that," and I'm standing there like, "Yeah, we did that." Like, thank goodness. Like, it's good to see that it's getting through. Like,
it's paying off.
You're really helping these people.
Yeah.
It really helps.
What does a normal day as a head coach look like for you?
Right now, I'm just doing a whole bunch of recruiting, really. Watching a whole bunch of film. I mean, today I watched a couple hours of it, of new recruits to contact. Yesterday I watched 3 hours of it, sending emails, calling recruits, booking meetings with them, and then once they're all in, then sorting out the paperwork attached to international students coming over. During the season, we train once a day. I'll probably be in the office 2 hours before the training sessions. Then we have the training sessions, and I'll probably be here another hour after, figuring things out or setting up the session for the next day. And then on match day, I mean, that can vary day to day, whether we're going the day before or we're going that day. But yeah, a lot of time spent in the office or a lot of time spent at home, pretty much being in the office anyway.
So would you say you work more than 40 hours a week, or would you say it's typically a 40 hour?
During the season, it's much more than 40 hours a week. Right now, it's not 40 hours a week. It's probably 25 to 30. But that's still, you're doing 25 to 30, you're not seeing the ball, you're not seeing the team very much, you're just recruiting. So it's 25 to 30 hours of looking at my computer, so it's not the same type of coaching that you do during the season.
How long did it take you to get to your position?
Year and a half.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a lot of coaching done as a kid, or like a teenager. But yeah, from when I got to JCC to right now, I was here not fall that just passed the fall before, so that's a year and a half from right now. I just got lucky. It wasn't like, if you're someone else, it's going to take a long time to build up to get to this level and have the experience. I got lucky with Pat because he coached me, and then George was here, the athletic director, when I was here as well, that they had enough confidence in me, and Pat told me pretty much a couple months in, like, hey, you're good enough for this, we're going to do it.
So your connections and networking
yeah,
benefited immensely in getting you this position.
Yeah, I was never one to think that I had much connections or that the ones I had would work out or help me, but these ones definitely worked for me quite well.
So it's definitely like, if you have a connection, be willing to come back to it, and because you never know where you can benefit it from.
Be nice to the people you meet on the way up, because you don't know who you'll be shaking hands with on the way down.
What helps you focus? Like, what keeps you determined to be this great head coach?
Goal setting. I think for me, wanting more than I have, but being where my feet are. So like knowing that I need to be like what I want to do, but knowing that right now I need to be, what can I do to help these guys today? What can I do to help us when the season starts in August? And then what can I be doing to help myself going where I need to go in the future or where I want to go?
So step by step.
Yeah. Day by day, set out where you want to go and what you want to achieve in it, but then be where your feet are and just live that day.
What is your biggest encouragement?
Seeing guys get better, like not just as footballers but as young men. Seeing guys change. I mean, me and you together, we've seen young men at this level that haven't changed, no matter how hard you try, but then we have seen young men that have changed. And whether or not they change or they don't change, trying to help them is a big encouragement, knowing that could help.
What inspired you to become a head coach?
I just always wanted to be a part of soccer. Like, I played it growing up, was always a part of it. My dad coached my brother when I was a kid, and I always it's just a good way to be around it always. And you don't have to do the running, and you still be a part of all the passionate side of it. So you don't get tired and sore,
True.
But you still love it as much as everyone else. And you get to be the one that does the yelling. I like yelling. That helps.
Yeah. I know I want to become a coach because I want to be a part of sports, even when I'm not able to physically play them anymore.
Yeah.
I want to be a part of soccer for as long as I can.
It's a good way to be a part of it.
What are the most important skills that you have that benefit you, and what skills do you think are needed to be a head coach?
I think with any sport, your knowledge on that sport, I think is really going to help you. I think you see a lot of coaches where maybe their knowledge on the sport isn't so good, but they're good at something else. Like Pat was like the greatest man manager, I think, that soccer will ever see. And I think if you got to figure out the things that you're lacking in. I think to be a good coach, man management, skill knowledge. I'm realizing it now, but all the paperwork attached and the business, pretty much like the business administration side of it all is pretty intense. So trying to figure out how to do that. Time management is like the biggest aspect for all of that. I think you have to figure out how to, especially with how many hours you do in this job, and you might have another job on the side, how much time you're devoted to it. and then you're probably going to be at work from 9 to 5, and then you get home, and then you'll have to spend another 3 to 4 hours a day trying to figure it out. So then you're just constantly trying to figure out the time to put everything in.
So time management, big part. Adaptability.
Yeah.
Being able to see your faults and be able to grow.
Big time.
Now, what would you say is like the average amount that you'd be making as a head coach?
I actually don't know the number attached to what the head coach makes here, but as the assistant, I pulled in $3,000. Only in the spring, only in the fall. Sorry, they don't pay you for the spring or anything. They just pay you as an assistant for the fall season. I think on average a head coach makes, like at the junior college Division 3 level, makes somewhere between $30,000 and $50,000. If I'm on the lower end of that, I'm happy with that. I'm really not someone that's too bothered about it. I mean, whether you pull in $30,000 or $50,000, you're probably gonna have another job on the side doing something during the day. So it's not the money isn't the be all or end all to me. I know you have to have money to feed your family and keep everything afloat, but it's more of a being around it and the passion and winning something.
Well, that's all the questions I have. Thank you for helping me out.
Of course.
Really going to use this to benefit myself.
Yeah.
Really helps me see into the daily life of a coach and really helps me decide what I want to do later in life.
Maybe one day we'll be coaching against each other and I'll win.
Probably not.
Probably.
Probably not. Thank you.
No, of course.